Hi, I'm Chuck, KK6USY. Welcome to Ham Radio Adventures. Today we are going to test and check out a battery. It's a 100 amp hour LiFePO4 battery from Cyclenbatt. That's Cyclenbatt. That's how it's spelled. Okay, full disclosure, they did send me the battery to test and review for you guys. They didn't tell me what to say. They didn't look at my video before I posted it on YouTube. And all the opinions are my own. All right, so we got that out of the way. So let's go unbox this battery, see how the packaging is, see what comes in the box, and then we're going to test the battery for capacity and run some appliances off of an inverter just to see if it can handle it. So let's get started. All right, this is the box it came in, guys. It looks pretty intact, so I guess the shipping company did a pretty good job. And if you guys can see here, that's how it's spelled right there. It's a 12.8 volt LiFePO4 battery. So let's just see how it's shipped here. Okay. So in the box, you've got, looks like 2 sets of screws, a longer one and shorter ones with lock washers and washers, guys. So we'll set that aside. Nice foam at the top here. And this foam goes down about 3 inches on the sides. And if you see, there's a space inside the box on both sides of about, probably at least an inch, maybe an inch and a half. Comes with an instruction booklet, guys, a product manual, and a nice little Ziploc here. So first of all, it's got power never stops, top notch, rising performance. It's just like a warranty card that you're supposed to send in. And then it's got let's get started. This is like a quick start guide for you guys to set things up, and it's just showing you how to set it up and how not to set it up. And then the product manual, which goes into more depth about charging and everything, how to hook things up, how many batteries you can hook up, it looks like, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, it has 2 little handles that pop on the sides. I'll get you the specs on that later, guys. This is a pretty small battery. We're gonna get rid of this. All right, let's fold those down. Those fold out of the way like that. Here's the top of the battery. It has your little covers to protect it, your positive and your negative. Pretty plain otherwise on top. All right, guys, so there's the battery, the front of the battery. It's got their name on it, Cyclenbatt. So it's Cyclenbatt, LiFePO4, 12.8, 100 amp hour, lithium iron phosphate deep cycle battery. So this is like for your RVs, or it's not a starting battery. You're not going to start your car with it, or your big diesel pickup or nothing like that. This is for like your RV type of batteries. And then the back says a 12.8, 100 amp hour again, 1280 watt hours. Caution, so that has your caution stuff here, your logos for FCC and all that stuff. On here it says discharge cutoff is 10.6 volts. That's the battery management system there. The max charge voltage is 14.4 volts. Max series voltage is 48 volts. That's if you're hooking multiple batteries together. Max continuous charge current is 120 amps. I would never charge it at that, but that's pretty high. Max continuous discharge current 120 also. We'll try to check that. I don't know if I can get up that high or not, but we'll try to get close. And peak discharge current is 300 amps. That's for 5 seconds, it looks like. And then temperature range is -4 Fahrenheit to 140 Fahrenheit. And then down here, it's just how you can get a hold of them. All right, let's do some quick measurements on this battery, guys, okay? So the width is, well, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do the top. That's the widest. It's right at 9 inches. It's about 5 3/8 deep, front to back, and then it is 8 1/4 inches tall. Let's go to the website and check out their battery, guys, and see what the more of the specs can be for this thing. Okay.
All right, guys, let's take a look at this Amazon page for Cyclenbatt. I have to say, guys, right now, I'm pretty impressed so far. I just did the capacity test on it, and spoiler alert, it came out really well. And the size of this battery is, I didn't realize, I knew it was small, but I started looking at it, and it's smaller than a lot of the mini batteries out there. So let's just go down their page here, and they have, this is the 100 amp hour, and that's what we're testing here. All right, 189.98 right now. That's a pretty good price, guys. I don't think there's any other 100 amp hour battery for that price. And this has prismatic cells in it, guys, not the pouches. So that's actually a good thing too, I believe. And they're grade A. It gives you your measurements here. I already gave those to you before. And you guys can pause this anytime you want to in the video and to read this more closely. I'm not going to read everything here, but this is a lot of the information here. 12 volt, 100 amp hour lithium battery, grade A cells, 5,000 cycles, 10 years lifespan, guys. And that's pretty much what these LiFePOs are supposed to get, is 10 years. And at that point, I still think there's like 80% left on a lot of these guys. So pretty good deal. And the price right now is coming down to where they're not, some of them are, I mean, some of your AGM batteries cost more than these. We're going to test this to see if it charges at 0 degrees or so. It has the built-in BMS, multiple protections, support series and parallel. Hooking multiple batteries up, and you can hook up 4 batteries, I think, in both, or separately, but both. And there's your BMS protection. You guys can stop and look at that if you want to. It says high temp and low temp. So I don't see any place where it really says that it has low temp protection, except for right here. So we are going to check this. And it's like 300 surge, and the guy got over 400 out of it. I wouldn't say you should do that, but the bad thing is it didn't shut down, and he ran it for about 5 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. So that's it. You just don't run it over the 150 mark. That's where it's supposed to be for long periods of time, and that way it won't heat the battery up and maybe cause a fire. So make sure you're watching what you're putting through it. I don't have a way of putting that kind of power through it. It takes a pretty big inverter, and I don't have a big enough inverter to do that. It's showing just different things you guys can use this for. Your trolling motors, your RVs for solar array, household energy. It says golf cart. I don't know. That part I wouldn't know about, but maybe, well, I tell you what, guys, it does have the capacity, because I've seen some other tests on this thing. And if you go down here, they make multiple batteries. They have a 10, an 18, a 20, a 30, and then that's 100. I actually might reach out to them and see if I can get one of their 20s and test it with some ham radio equipment to see if it really will take the, what's it say, it takes peak discharge 40 amps and continuous 20 amps. 20 amps is about what most radios will do, and maybe we'll hook a little amplifier up to it, which has a little bit more than that. So maybe we'll see what they say. And then down here, it's showing that all your different batteries. Like I said, you guys, you get up to 400 amp hours with these batteries. They only recommend 4 in series and 4 in parallel, whichever one you decide to use for your situation. I've reached out to them a couple times. They've gotten back to me really quick. So that part's really good, guys. So this is their Amazon page, and don't worry, there will be a link in the page down there for an affiliate link for you guys if you want to purchase this battery. Help the channel out and not cost you anything extra. All right, guys, thanks.
All right, I've had this on for a little while here. Just got the camera set up, and as you can see, we're running 10 amps out of it right now. It's already dropped down to 12.9. There's all the information on there that you can see. There you go, and it is hooked to the battery. All right. So we'll be back in about 10 hours. I think it's probably about when it will run down. So let me turn this on. Let's see what the voltage is. 13.7. This is 1 watt just at idle, guys. I do have a little light on here also, but there's nothing's running yet. This is goes up to 15. I think it's 900 and 1500 watts. This is only 1200, so it should sound the alarm on that. So let's just go ahead, hit the buttons again, and we're just going to turn the fan on for now, guys. And that's almost 3 amps, guys, right there. Voltage went down just a little bit. Now we're running 27 watts. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go to the first setting on the heater. That should draw things quite a bit more there. About 880 to 900 watts there, guys. And we got some nice heat coming off of that. It's actually helping the room today because it is kind of cool. What do we have here? So it went over on this one, so let me go to there. So it shows 67.8 there, guys. Now, when I do click this onto the high side, this should shut down. So let's just try it real quick. And it peaked about 1330. All right, so I'm going to turn that off. Turn that off. Turn it back on. It should reset. And it did. Showing 3 watts now. Let's just go ahead and just run this a little bit on the first setting. So it's showing somewhere in the 770 to 800. Now it's about 750 now. It's been a couple minutes, so no problem running something and that's about max. Well, I can probably find something else here. Let me see if I can find something else to plug in. We can go below the 1200, but above the 800. All right, so what I have is a hair dryer. It's like a heat gun, but it's the fan speed on first, and we'll see what we get here. Sorry, it's gonna be a little noisy. That was about 200. Let me go to the heat here now. So that's 5. Oh man, we're gonna be. Let me just see if I can get it to work. Oh yeah, we're pushing it. 12. Yep, it went over 1300 again. So this works really well. So it looks like all I can do is maybe just the fan. So we'll turn this on the first notch. We'll let it cycle so to where it gets constant. It's like at 9 something right now, but it'll go down to about 7. It gets about 790. Turn the fan on. Okay, this is putting us right at 12. This is like max right now, guys, for my 1256 watts. And it may kick off, but battery's holding at 12.45. And we're at 1240 or so. It goes up and down. And now down to 7. And we're going to just cycle this to the fan for a second. Battery's up to 13. You guys can see that. And we're 2.9. So I think this thing does what it's due. I cannot max this thing out. This looks like a win. Looks like a pretty good little battery here. All right, so I'm gonna let this run for a little while to pull the battery down, and then we are gonna throw this thing in a freezer and see if we can get it down to a cutoff temperature. I don't see anything that says this is, but I watched somebody else test it and it seemed to shut off, and it kind of alludes to that in the instructions, but doesn't come right out and say it. I do have an email in to Cyclenbatt to find out if this is supposed to or not. So hopefully before the time I finish everything on the recording and stuff, I'll hear back from them. If it doesn't, I will try to put that in the video that it does not have it. But we're going to try it and see if it cuts off. But I want this thing to drop the battery down some so that I know that we're going to be able to charge it. So that's all I'm doing right now. Just running the heater just a little while. I'm heating up my shack here. All right, so we're at 104 amp hours, 10.3, 10.2 volts. So it hit the 100 amp hour mark. 1321, 1322, basically on the watt hours. So I think that's a pass, guys.
All right, guys, I still haven't heard back from Cyclenbatt about the low temperature cutoff, but to be fair to them, it was over the weekend. I recorded most of this over the weekend, so I probably will hear back from them today, and if so, I'll put something in the description below. I couldn't get it to work, so my feeling is it doesn't have it, and they didn't say it did. So if you are in the market for a battery for your RV or your trolling motor or something like that, this seems to be a pretty good one, and it is really nice and small, guys. It's the smallest battery overall that I've seen yet. and it does have the better prismatic sails, and so it's a pretty good battery, guys. So if you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe if you want more content like this. Hit the bell, hit all, that way you get all my future videos. I'm Chuck, KK6USY for Ham Radio Adventures. Thank you for spending your time with me today. 73 all, and hope to catch you guys on the airways.